Hey guys, so it's midsummer right now and I want to talk to you about two must-have baits if you are going to come out here and fish for walleyes. Now what I like to do is pick different lakes every week and kind of challenge myself to learn them and to educate myself and to go catch some walleyes. And I want to show you the two baits that when I come to these lakes I have tied on no matter what, especially starting right now. End of July, warm, thermocline, suspended fish. And if you have live scope, this is where a really good bait for scoping is a jigging spoon. This is one of our hot spoons, and this is a 3/8 ounce gold hot spoon. I got a little bit of UV tape on there. Comes with a Gamakatsu hooks, or super sharp, made right in Minnesota. So check them out. Link is in the description below. We appreciate it. And I'm going to tell you, I did not realize how good jigging spoons work, especially from this point of the year on through fall for catching walleyes. Now most of the time this year I haven't even been picking it up and throwing it, but I'm going to throw it a little bit today, especially in this algae bloom colored water where you can get on top of the fish and get a little bit closer. And I'll show you how I work that jigging spoon in a second. But I've got 10-pound test fluorocarbon right here, and I've got 10-pound test Power Pro with the uni knot. That's paired up on the Trika 6X spinning rod. Now if you haven't heard of Trika spinning rods, guys, they're new, but they are awesome. They are right here in Wisconsin. They have awesome customer service, super light, super sensitive. One of the best walleye rods that I've ever used. They've got new rods coming out this fall, so I'm really excited about that because I use a lot of different rods. I use a longer rod for a spinning rod, a little bit shorter rod. These are my tools that I use for fishing. But the jigging spoon, check them out. 3/8 ounce and 1/2 ounce. Those are the two that I use all summer long, followed by my go-to bait right here, the jig and the crawler. And I just use, you can see, like a 1/2 crawler. See how that's kind of ripped right there, but it just kind of dangles. That is an 1/8 ounce jig. I use an 1/8 ounce and a 1/4 ounce. And the one big mistake I see when I see guys fishing a jig now in the summer, it's the same thing I used to do a lot more of. I used to be a lot more of a, what I would call a jig fisherman, where you're jigging the bait. You know, you snap it, you jig it, you jig it, you jig it. And I found when I watch the fish and how they behave on live scope, is that jigging technique isn't always necessarily the most effective technique. On the bottom, sometimes it is. Snap jigging off the bottom can work great, but I'm talking about for pelagic, suspended fish, what you do is you just reel, look at this. How did this just happen? On the intro, you just reel it in real slow. You guys, I got a fish on right here. And that was with no live scope. A nice walleye. I mean, I'm starting the day off. This is crazy. Showing you how to fish a jig and a crawler. I don't have any live scope. I'm in 25 feet of water. Just casted it out. I have not fished here all summer. Look at this. Nice little walleye. Just like that. Walleye #1 on the jig and the crawler. It's probably about an 18-incher. That's a legal fish for here. But we're just going to throw that back. But the 1/8 ounce jig and the 1/4 ounce jig are the two that I use the most. And last but not least, guys, it's a little tangled up right now, but I want to show you that the rig that I use a lot, that I'm having a lot of success for walleye, smallmouth, largemouth, everything eats this as well, is a drop shot. I've got a drop shot rig here, and I actually have an egg hook. I like an egg hook. It's kind of like a little wider gap hook there. That's a flatworm. I have a tungsten weight, about an 18-inch leader, and I have 6 or 8 pound test fluorocarbon long leader, 10-pound test. And again, that's the Trika spinning rod. Love the new Carbon X Alumex reels. These are the new Piscifun reels, guys, so check them out, the new Alumex. They got 10 ball bearings. They have a super smooth drag, priced really well. Use my code EH15 if you want to pick up one of these new Alumex reels, or my favorite reel, the Carbon X2. I use these for salmon. I use the 2000 series for walleyes. These things are super smooth. The carbon reel, the carbon rods, super sensitive. So check them out for the Piscifun. Use my code EH15 in the link below. Save yourself 15%. And we're gonna go walleye fishing here. We'll see what we can catch. I mean, if I leave any more baits hanging over the side, you never know, I might double up. That was crazy. Here we go. We're gonna see if we can catch some midsummer walleyes with the 2 baits that you gotta have. All right, guys, I wanna show you what I'm looking for out here in this deep water. Here's a single fish, right? Here's bait, but that right there, that's a single fish, right there. Maybe one up here, but right about here, it's kind of hard to tell. That's a single fish, right there. The bait fish, there's another fish out here, down 16 feet, and you can see there's a fish here. See it swimming? Those are the walleyes, 14 to 16 feet down. Looking for the schools of bait fish. You'll see the schools of bait fish out here. Here's the bait. So if you come out into this deep water and you have live scope, do not be afraid to chase these pelagic suspended fish on any basin, deep basin. Get out in the middle, start cruising around. There's no one out here, plenty of fish. Check that out. We're gonna get back, see if we can catch a few now. Got to make the perfect cast. I threw it by him, he didn't eat it. I mean, these fish that want these jigging spoons out in the basin, these are aggressive fish, guys. They're chasing schools of minnows. You see 1, 2, it depends on the length, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fish. But they are aggressive and they like the jigging spoons. Not a big one. Little guy, but he was up high. He was only down 10-15 feet, and as you can see, he crunched the hot spoon. There he is. Got him on the spoon. On the spoon, guys. We are hooked up on the spoon again. Definitely the dirty water seems to make a difference with the spoon. Oh, and it came off just like that. Another nice walleye. But one thing I'm noticing is, you know, during the day, if you have stained or an algae bloom colored water like this, you can get away with more of an aggressive type of bait. I've caught a few nice walleyes on the spoon, the shiver minnow, the jig and wrap, you know, a lot of different glide baits, the Trika minnow, those will work as well. But I like a spoon because it's more of a vertical up and down, whereas like the Trika minnow, shiver minnow, jig and wrap, they're more of a glide bait that darts back and forth, and they're also good for hitting on a hard bottom surface like rock. If you have a lot of rock shoals or a not so weedy bottom. A lot of the lakes we have around here, they have like a skunk weed or just stinky little grass on the bottom, so when you throw those baits on the bottom, they get hung up and they get all full of slime and weeds. So it's more important to fish a bait above the fish, or sometimes right, have them come up for it. So there we got a walleye. Hands down, the best bait is probably a jig and a crawler all summer. This one feels like it might be illegal. Better get the net ready. That's illegal. It's a nice walleye. Hey, relax. Welcome to the team. Welcome to the family. As you all know, we like to do some catch and cooks, and we like to eat. Probably my favorite fish right there are walleyes. way up high, way up high. Those fish were only down 10 feet out over the basin. Oh, that's why. That was a bass. Just came off. Here he comes. Got him. Hey, another walleye. He does it. All right, guys, I just want to take a couple of seconds and show you how I fish a jigging spoon and how I fish a jig. Now, traditionally, when you fish that jig, I grew up fishing a jig, jigging a crawler, jigging a minnow. You're bouncing bottom, you're hitting bottom. Rarely did I ever swim it or swim it through the water column. Same thing can be said, you know, I never really started fishing jigging spoons. I've been using them for 25 years for trout and salmon, but just in the last 5, 6, 7 years, I realized how good they work for walleyes. I used them ice fishing 25, 30 years ago as well, you know, a dew jigger, all sorts of Swedish pimples, so they work in cold water applications as well. So with that jigging spoon, what you're gonna do, whether you're scoping or you're fishing the edge of a weed edge, you're going to let it sink. It has a fast fall rate, and that fast fall rate creates a reaction strike. So you cast it out, snap, snap, snap. And what I like to do is keep it above the fish if I see them. And if I'm getting weeds, if I don't have live scope, if I'm casting and I'm hitting the bottom and I'm getting weeds or slime on my bait, that means you're fishing it too far below or on the bottom, and it won't work so well, because when you get weeds and slime on your bait, the fish can see it and they won't bite it. So just little snaps like this. Little snaps. That's how I fish that jigging spoon. And as far as the jig and the crawler goes, you know, the same thing like I said earlier, the 1/8 ounce or the 1/4 ounce, those are the two jigs I primarily use the most all summer long. Mainly the 1/8 ounce because it has a nice slow fall rate. If it's not really windy, I'll let it fall for maybe 10, 15 seconds out in this 30-foot range, and then I just shake it. I put my finger on the rod and I just shake and reel, real slow. That's all I'm doing. Shake, reel, real slow. Just like that. So, feel the bite, set the hook, and hang on. On the jigging spoon, on the jigging spoon, guys, it's a good one. On the jigging spoon. Yes. Just fishing out in the basin here. It's dirty water in the algae bloom. You can trick them better with a jigging spoon. Nice walleye, nice walleye. Go. That's our limit, guys. Decided to come out here and keep a couple fish. Another nice, beautiful walleye, probably around 19 inches, 19 and a half. I'll measure them real quick. Hey, relax. 19 and a half incher. All right, guys, thanks for watching this week's video. I've also decided that I want to give away a couple jigging spoons. Now, remember, there's a lot of scams. There's a lot of people that'll reach out to you and say that you've won or this or that, and that is not the case. So here's what I'm going to do. All you have to do to win a couple of our hot spoons here that I will personally ship out to you is just leave me a comment in the comments below. hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe and tell someone else about our YouTube videos. And I'm going to pick one winner in this week's video, and I will come back in the comments and let you know. So in about a week, I'll come back and let you guys know after I post this video who won. So pay attention to the comments. I'm about to wrap it up. Thanks for watching this week's video. I came out here by myself with a nice limit of walleyes. We got one more that's hiding right back over here, but caught my limit of walleyes. So now these fish are deep, so I'm just gonna go. I'm not gonna keep beating up on them, but hopefully you learn something in our weekly videos, especially. And I'm learning stuff every time I go to a different lake, whether it's algae bloom, whether it's stained, whether it's the Great Lakes or a lake like Lake Geneva where it's crystal clear and really hard to catch walleyes. Trying to teach you guys how to be better fishermen. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I gotta go clean some fish. We'll see you guys.